Okay. Hello, internets.
Greetings.
Hello, internets.
All right. It's a lovely Monday evening in Seattle, and today we're gonna make we're gonna talk a little bit about layouts of components, and we're gonna add some date pickers to livre-journal. How's that sound?
Sounds wonderful.
Date pickers.
Wunderbar.
Let me know if my audio is no longer good. Update me.
Oh, your audio sounds good. Let me get you some links to join. Join my
Please.
VS Code. Yeah. Also, you're gonna want to so here's the goal. The goal today is to talk about the date pickers and layouts and all that stuff. But the goal is to enable you guys to update the layout of your app independently of me, preferably off stream without me being there.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. Ultimate. So let's aim to do that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe and in order for me to be able to do that, you need to talk to me. Tell me about what you understand, about what you don't understand, and then we'll try and do some stuff. So, I guess let's start with the date picker. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Date picker time. I want to make sure that you guys are visible. So I'm going to open the window sort of like this.
I'm going to be eating gummy worms.
Material UI. Yeah, you're going to eat gummy worms. Let me see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be for
I want gummy worms. Okay, yeah. Material UI, and then we are pulling up date picker. Ooh, by the way, another thing that I probably have to do is upgrade your material UI to the latest one, because we're running an old version at this point. So here's a date picker, right? Here's a date and time picker. I don't know if you want to use that. How granular do you want the start and end dates to be?
Do you care about what time you started a book? I feel like the time is not necessary, but is still welcomed.
All right. So we'll just use this one then.
Yeah.
I need to actually use the old version because we haven't upgraded yet. So let's go back to V4.
Is there a way to see a calendar, a monthly calendar?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see it when I pulled it up. I'll show you. So this is what it looks like when it's just by itself, and then when you click on one of these buttons, it brings up one of these. So that's a time picker, and here's a date picker dialog. Here's the date and time picker.
Actually, do we need time?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess time is kind of annoying.
So we could just do a date picker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way for... I guess that's good, yeah. How long do you think it takes people to read books? Like a month?
Yeah, definitely on the order of weeks, usually. So a month view is reasonable because if they are a fast reader or if it's a short book, you can have within a few days or a few weeks, and it's very easy to mark an end date
I want a like highlighted type of thing on the calendar. So if you start at August 12th and you end at the 26th, then those dates are highlighted.
Ah. I believe such a thing exists in the latest version of MUI. Let me see here.
Wait, they just added it because that's convenient.
Hold on. Date range picker. So here's a date range picker. Oh, this one costs money though.
No.
But you can do something like this, which I think is what you mean.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a pro feature.
Man, they know exactly
for
what we want.
livre-journal Pro.
livre-journal Pro. Yeah.
So that static mode is the pro version?
Of MUI.
Yeah. MUI Pro. So if we upgrade it to MUI Pro, it's like Pro plan. $250 per dev.
250?
Per dev, yeah.
That's
So there's
messed
3
up,
of us,
though.
so it would be 750.
Well done with your math.
Mm-hmm.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well, it's actually very reasonably priced considering how people expect these things to be used. So they sell it to the number of devs, but then the devs presumably monetize on a per user basis. So if you were building an app and you were charging like $1, you only need 1,000 users to pay back for this investment, right? $250 is actually a really reasonable deal for software like this. Although it may not sound so because you're not a pro developer, so it isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah. I tell you what, let's not worry about the date picker for now. Let's just use this one.
I'll just highlight it on using a highlighter.
We can also build our own component if you didn't want to pay for it. All of these things can be built yourself. The reason for reusing these things is because there is more interesting things to do in life than rebuild things that already exist. Date picker.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, okay. So let's do this. Inline date picker.
Yeah, I'm fine with the
So I'm going to do the start date, and you can add the end date, yeah? So let's do it, yeah? So the first thing we're going to do is we need something to keep track of what the date selected was, like a state information for it. So that would be something like this. So we can just grab it. Why don't you tell our viewers what you think this... by the way, where do we want to... I should put this here. Where do we want to put the date in the app layout? Top here, maybe? Before red or after red?
After red, before the character.
Okay. So here's how you do it. So we need state for it. So we can go here and paste that information. And then we can call it started or start date.
Start date.
Yeah, and then there will be an end date.
Or star date. Get it?
Yeah.
Start.
So there is our start date and set start date, and the value can be null, I guess, if you don't set a date. Or I guess the value could be now. Like if we have no value for it, it could be what it is currently. Right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. So we also need to do set start date. So remember, this one here is the control state for the time picker in your app, right? That's the one that's displayed. And then this one here is the one that updates that value once it comes back from the server.
Right.
So the value from the server is entry, and it's going to be called start date as well. And if we have no value for it, I think we can just say new date.
Whoa.
And that will be now. I think new date does now. To test that, you can open up a JavaScript console and say new date. And new date, this tells you that it's December 13th, 2021.
Hey, that is true.
Indeed, it is. It even has information about the time zone. How nice.
Wowzers.
Wowzers. All right, next thing we need is we'll need a function to handle the date change, and we will need whoa, so much code. Let's use this inline variant, keyboard date picker, I think is the name of this thing. So I think you can just copy it like this. I wonder what, I don't know what this other stuff is, but let's just copy paste some code. So you said after the red, but before all the ratings. So here is the red button.
And possibly if it could be centered.
Ah, layout. I'll show you how to do layout in a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to import this. How do I import it? And it's not giving me help. But here they are up here. Let me just copy paste this. Copy paste. Let's get rid of those things. So I don't know if this is going to work, but that's the cool thing about programming. You just try, you know. Value needs to be the start date. And when you change it, we need to write this function called handle date change. For now, I'm just going to comment that out and save. Failed to compile. Compiling. What's it doing? Failed to compile. Review edit. Cannot resolve material UI pickers. Oh, material UI pickers. Oh, this is a separate library. We need to install it.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Do you want to install it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Remind ourselves how to install.
I remember ish.
Yeah, let me give you a terminal. Are you folks logged in?
We're in
Yeah, I see
Visual
you.
Studio Code.
Okay, cool. How do I share the terminal? Live share. I need to give you access to the terminal. Terminal, make read write. All right, so you should be able to type in this terminal. Type npm install.
We all do it? Oh, we're just doing it.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, either one of you can do it. And then you want to install this.
It won't already exist.
All right, run that command. It should go.
Run it.
Okay, that installed. Cannot find the module. Let's go back to here. And we should be able to just reload. No? Cannot find utils context. What's that, Satch?
Will doing this install it on all of our devices?
Nope. You'll have to, so in order for you to do more work later, you'll have to do a thing. You need to pull down the changes that we make today. So git pull, and then you'll have to do npm install, and that's it. Like you don't have to type what to install because I will commit the updated packages that we have, and then when you do npm install, it will just download all the necessary packages.
Nice.
So we got an error here, cannot find utils in context, and very nice error message here. You either forgot to wrap or in this thingy, or mixed named and direct file imports, blah blah. Okay, I don't know if it's actually useful to you, but I mean, I didn't know what I needed, so I was trying to not get things that I didn't need, you know?
Yeah, I've never seen such a nice error message where it's like, here are the options you can take.
Well, I think all we need to do to fix it is this stuff. There's a bunch of, I guess wow, I need so many things for this. We may need to install more packages. So we need to copy this and paste that. Sorry, say again, Satch.
That's how it be, you know? Housekeeping
is
a very important process.
True that. So we'll just put this like that, and then, yeah, so now these things import just fine. This thing here, though, yeah, we need to install another package for this. So many packages just for this date thing. So we need to install this one now, Rickles, if you want to run that. So
yeah, Rickles, let's do this. I'm going to eat more worms.
I want gummy worms. Yeah, gummy worms would be nice.
Oh, I can't stop though. It's a problem.
Sorry, I was trying to follow you. All right, that looks good. Try it out. All right. Okay, so now we ought to be able to control space. Yeah, there it is. Click there. Did it import? Did it import? I don't see it. Let's try again. I've had this problem with VS Code where it somehow doesn't always know how to do the import, even though it correctly suggests what I want it to import. Whatevs, man. Save. All right, let's see how we're doing. Failed to compile. Module not found. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just want to restart. Sometimes restarting is all you need. We'll see if the error is still there. Oh, yeah, wait, compiling. Nope, failed to build, okay. Module not found, can't resolve date fn's lib format long formatters. Okay, I bet I'm still missing something. Oh, I might need this. Import date fn's. Let's put it up here. Module not found. Can't resolve date fn's. Think we need to install yet another thing. Yeah, go ahead. For this one here, I think you just like this, date fn's, yeah. No at. All right. Compile. Cannot find module date fn's add days. Okay, I think this one here is just restart. Or not. Format string contains an unescaped Latin character, n. Wait, yikes. What is this?
Unescaped?
Hold on, I feel like I gotta restart one more time. So usually you don't have to restart when you just edit files, but sometimes you need to restart when you after you do an install. But that does not seem to be the problem this time. Okay.
Hello, Nickens.
Yeah, hey Nikki. Okay, so let's try and figure out where this started happening so that we can trace it back.
Latin alphabet character. Is it line?
So what I'm doing right now is looking through these I was trying to see where this thing is getting called so that we can narrow down where in our code this thing is having some trouble. But yeah, I'm not actually yeah, this thing's not being helpful. One sec. Let's see if we can't. I'm wondering if this has to be the order matters. Yeah, I don't think so. Interesting. Let's try something. I want to try this thing where we don't render this. Let's just comment it out. Okay. So it works. All right. Notice that it worked, yeah?
Oh.
It compiled successfully.
Yeah, so if we don't try to render this thing, it works. Let's try this now. Still works. It still works even, so it's only when we try to render this guy, the keyboard date picker. Let's try commenting this out. Okay. So it's not this. But it must be something. I'm curious. Actually, one idea. Let's remove this code and see what happens. Huh. It still has a problem. Interesting.
I see that the date FN utils is still up under the UE packer picker.
Say again, Rickles. Hey, Mom.
What's this component calling for? It's just calling for the import?
I'm not sure what you're pointing at.
Sorry, this part. Right here.
Call a line number so I can know what you're talking about.
133.
133. Okay,
Yeah, what is it calling for here? Is it just calling for the import? This is the module that we need in order.
It is called, I don't know. I've never actually attempted to use this tool before. It's calling for datefn's utils, which is imported from date.io datefn's. It's okay. Let's do a thing. Let's search for format string contains unescaped Latin character n and see what happens. Maybe people have seen this before. Ah. Okay, this is a bug. For others struggling, if you install date.io at 2.x, you might see the error. For now, downgrade to date.io. All right. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do that. I'll show you how to do this. So it's a bug. It's a bug in the underlying library. It's not us. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, folks, package.json. So what it's telling us to do is update the version number that this thing's pointing to an old version. Specifically, we want anything newer than 1.3.13. Like that. Yeah? I put in an extra caret.
Package.json. Okay.
Yeah? Save
and all
that.
this is housed like on some sort of cloud.
Package.json.
You mean the dependencies?
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. They are all hosted on NPM. So if you go to NPM, this place here has, you can publish packages here, which is where we download them from. So for example, I have my own package up here. It's called Markdown It Music. This is
Oh, nice.
my little package. Here are the collaborators. So you'll see me and my friend Vince. Sup, Dev?
Hi, Dev.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
Mom.
Yeah, so this little library here renders music. Did I ever show you guys my music app?
You showed me where it has lyrics and
Mhm.
tab.
Yeah, that
Is
one.
that the same one?
Yeah. So I have two packages there. I have Markdown It Music, and this library renders music, and it's a command line tool. So you can run this command. It has some dependencies on a Markdown viewer and other things, and then what it will do is take an input and then generate music output, like a HTML output with music in it. And so that's one package. And so I wrote another app that depends on this library the same way that we depend on things. So you can go to musicmd.app, and then this is the app, and you can add like my music repo to it. This is a GitHub repo where I store all my music files. So you can put music files into a GitHub repo. And then when you click on this, it will take you to all the files in my music app. And then if you click on one of them, it renders the music.
Ooh.
Wow.
So there's this music here, and then when you mouse over these things, you get guitar tabs.
So it actually gives you notation as well.
Yeah, if you want it. So there's like a play button, and you can listen to the music while you play along with it.
Whoa.
Wow.
How
And
do I get to use it?
oh, just go to musicmd.app. That's it. Just go there. It's free. I have some
Just send me, like,
transpose. Yeah, what?
Songs that I want to learn that for flute, for example, that there aren't any sheet music for those things sometimes.
Yeah, well, you have to, if it's not in, like, this is music that you prepare for yourself. So you would have to prepare some music for yourself. It's not exactly the easiest tool to use because you have to do some stuff, but there is an editor, and inside this editor you can edit the ABC music. So you unfortunately have to learn how to write ABC JS music, but as you can see, you have like a little helper over here. So like if you change this, for example, to A, you would see this G move up to an A, right?
like you're
Oh, that's
transposing.
so perfect.
Yeah, and then if you save this, it will save into your GitHub repo, and then you can play along with it. And it's got transpose functionality, so if you want to change the key to play with other people, it will transpose this, and it will transpose the music down here too. So all the music is changing. And I have a column selector, so like if you're on a big screen with like a really wide screen, you can make it like 2 columns.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's really handy.
Yeah, this is a slightly older version. I've been working on a completely revamped version, which I can show you actually because it's already been published. One sec.
Yeah, show us the revamp.
Yeah, I'm working on yet another revamp. So the new version that I have, there it is. I have a dark mode now. Well, I had a dark mode before, but here's the updated menu. Yeah, song actions to edit. Now I have a search bar. And you can switch to the light mode, go back to system. The transpose feature is here. I think this is clearer, and you can reset your transpose. Still, columns are selected here. Yeah. So we can, there's all kinds of fun things. And by the way, this is all built using the exact same tech that your livre-journal is built on.
Ooh.
Except instead of Firebase, I'm using GitHub as my backend. All the files go into GitHub.
So let's say I want to play a music that I've heard, but it's not in your system. What do I do?
Oh yeah. So what you would do is you would click this plus button, and then you would have to type out your music in Markdown. So it's not ideal, especially if you don't know what the music is already. But the idea here is that this is a songbook, so you're willing to put in a bit of effort to, you know.
I am willing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Easier.
So all you do is so first you'll need to set a GitHub token. I have instructions on how to do that here. This token will basically grant you permissions to write files into your GitHub. So you would do this and then paste your GitHub token here, save, and then you'll be able to edit. As you can see, I'm currently not able to edit. And once you are able to edit, you can create a file. When you create a new file, you'll have like a blank view like this. It'll be blank, and then you can just fill it in. I have this auto formatter. So if you, like, there's standard like ASCII tab, like for guitar tablature on various websites. So if you copy music like that and paste it here, this button will format it for you automatically. It will detect headers and turn them into headers for you. It will detect chord lines and make chord lines out of it for you, detect lyric lines, and then just do this. It'll make a few mistakes now and then, but yeah. Anyway, check this out. So I have a website for this, Music Markdown, right here. And I have sort of a user guide that I wrote to help you use it. So it teaches you how to like write the syntax for the file. So you can just come here to, if you're interested, you can use this. It shows you how to attach a YouTube ID so that you can play the YouTube video along with it. It shows you how to make custom chord diagrams in case you have your own like fingering for a special chord. You can set the chord diagram and it will add a chord diagram for you. For example, there's this one here that got rendered using this notation. I feel like it's kind of meant for programmers.
Musician programmers?
Yeah, the intersection of musicians and programmers. Okay, that was fun.
A lot? I wonder.
There's an intersection of them, and I feel like everybody should learn.
Charlie is one too.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's kind of into music.
I think so. All right, let's see if downgrading helped. Yeah, downgrading did help.
It's there.
All right, so there's some kind of bug. And notice that it chose 12/13/2021. Yeah?
Yeah, the date.
Yeah. Now, right now, this won't let you change it because onChange is not a function. So let's fix that.
Yeah. Let's.
So let's go back to review edit. So what we need is a function that will update the date. So we'll just, I think we can reuse the code that was given to us by, where did it go? I lost it. Okay, here it is. So we're going to reuse this one here, handle the date change. Grab that. And then we need a function. So let's put the function up here. All right. And this needs to call set start date to the provided date. Let's save that. Compiled successfully. Refresh this page. So we should be able to change it now. All right, it changes. And we want to change this. This currently says date picker inline. So we should change that. You want to change that there, Rickles?
Date.
Yay! Are we gonna be able to see a month view again? I forgot the answer.
Yeah. I mean, it currently is, right? When you click here, month view.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want? What do you want the text here to read, Satch?
Date started.
All right. Do it. And then save. All right. There's date started.
Fun. It's like I'm the master. I'm like,
All right.
Done. Go look.
All right. Let's set the date started to December 1st and click the save button. Okay. That did a thing. Let's see if it worked. Yeah. So let's go to, what's the place called?
The Firebase.
That's right. Thanks. Firebase. livre-journal. And let's hit up the Firestore. Users. I think I'm CG. Entries. I think it was ZI. It was not ZI. It was the other one. Or
See a date there.
I also see a date there, but that's not the date. Let's see what happened. I don't think it worked. Oh, yeah, I know why it didn't work. Do you know why it didn't work? It's always the exact same reason.
Is it clicking?
Payload.
Yeah, update the payload. That's right. Why don't we put it under content so that it matches the same order as... Actually, that's a good point. Red currently is not matching the order. You can put it there. It's fine.
This is date.
It should be start date. So start date is the field.
We also want an end date.
Yeah, but that's your job. I'm going to let you do that yourself. The next thing I wanted to talk about, because we're going to end nice and early today, give you guys time to rest. So I wanted to show you layout and give you the opportunity to do layout. All right, so save that. And let's head back to here. Let's update Huckleberry Finn. Set the start date December 1st. Save. Yeah. There it is, December 1st. Wow. Full-on timestamp configured there. Sweet. So now if we go into was that Huckleberry Finn? Yeah. If we go into Huckleberry Finn, uh-oh, it's broken.
Did you click the check mark?
I did. Yeah, the date that got read back is no good.
Oh, because the looks like the date includes a time. Maybe that's why.
Maybe. I think we need to parse it. So we stored the value, and in Firebase, this thing correctly identified the type as a timestamp. That is correct. But the timestamp that got sent back, I wonder what it is. Let's find out. So this is set start date. So we need to be able to see what the entry is, yeah? Because the entry... Okay, so let me explain to you why I'm doing these things. So this thing says it's an invalid date format. So the reason why this happened was because whatever it loaded back from Firebase, it doesn't know how to interpret it.
Right, and so what parsing does is translates it to give it only.
Right. We need to, so something is wrong with the entry. So let's take a look at the entry. Console.log entry. And if we do that, we have a console here, and then here's the object. There is date, and here's start date. So I think that this start date is currently, this timestamp is just a number. This is not a date object. So we need to convert it to a date object. Yeah? Makes sense? So here's the thing. I know for a fact that we have done this before, because if you look at our code, notice that we have dates working all over the place.
Yeah.
So let's just go find code that's doing this. So we know for sure that we're loading a date for when the entry was created. So we can find that, I'm pretty sure, in review.js. So here's the date object. It gets passed into review, which means that it's going to be under reviews where we compute it. So here is a review. Entry.date. Oh, looks like we just need this toDate. toDate. That's nice and easy. Do you want to fix it? Either Rickles or Satch? Where's the file? Review edit. Do you know what to do?
Sorry, so you're saying you have to move dates?
So right here. So basically, start date is this thing that we need to call toDate on, and then it will come back as a proper date object. So right where I put my cursor.
I click there.
Yeah.
You click.
You want to type Satch?
But what am I typing?
So I'll show you. This is how we... wrong file. The last time we loaded a date. So here's entry. Entry.date.toDate. This is how you convert a date object into a... This is how you can convert a Firebase date into a JavaScript date.
Interesting.
Yeah? So, yeah, your turn. Take a guess. There's nothing wrong with taking a guess. Go ahead.
Maybe... So I'm starting on this part, though.
Mm-hmm.
Last time it said entry.date, right?
Let me give you... I'll give you so that you can compare.
Date. Thank you. Should I take out start?
Nope, you need to... So, okay, let's talk about that. What is this date? What is this start date? What does it represent?
The date you started your book.
Correct. And why do you think you... So
Oh, I see. So having it be toDate would mean today's date instead of the date you started the book.
No. So let's go through. Okay, here. So look at this bottom part down here, right, where we have the object in the console. If you look, there's a start date down here, and this start date has these two fields, nanoseconds and seconds, right? So this object is not a date object, because normal date objects look like this. Right? Now what we want to do is convert this start date into this kind of date that we have in JavaScript. Okay? So start date is entry.startDate, right? Because this object here is entry.
Okay.
So what we're doing is converting the Firebase date into a JavaScript date. And I've done that before because we converted entry.date into a date by calling .toDate on it.
Okay. So Would I just put toDate after that then?
Yes.
toDate. Is that it though?
Parens.
Oh yeah, good old paren.
So if you recall think back. Like remember that syntax is part of this problem solving, yeah?
Yeah.
What is this that we're doing here? What, like, remember, or think back to our crash course. What is it when we do dot something? What does it mean? Do you remember?
The dots. What does the dots mean?
We're like filtering it.
Yeah, remember filter? That was a thing we did. Dot filter. So these, when you're calling dot something, you're calling a method on the object. Yeah, we used it. Let's see if we can open up back our tutorial. Let me see if I can pull that up. CD workspace. What was it again? JS tutorial. So here was our tutorial. And we did a number of things in here. But for example, we did this words.filter. Remember we did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this filter is a operation that we're doing on a list called words. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at more things. We have this read file, and then we do dot split. This is an operation called split, and we're doing that on the result of returning a file. In our case, dictionary.csv was this big dictionary of words, and when we split, it's an operation that splits this so that each line becomes its own word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at fraction, because you actually, if you recall, we did the same thing here. We did fraction.reciprocal or fraction.multiply. If you recall, what we did was we created a fraction called f1, which was 1 over 2, right? And then we did fraction f2 is a new fraction 2 over 7. And then we did f1 dot multiply f2. So multiply is an operation on f1. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're currently doing with the date. It's a different type of object, but that's the key, right? This toDate is an operation on a Firebase date. The same way that multiply is an operation on a fraction, right? Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do now is maybe put a question mark there. I never taught you what the question mark does, but it's safe to just put that there. I'll put one in there. We'll talk about it later. For now, like, what you should know is that what this does is it makes sure that if anything fails along the way here, we'll just take the most recent date as the value, which is actually probably a bug. We don't actually want to do that long term. But yeah, I just want to make it work. So, Huckleberry Finn, check it out. The toDate works.
Oh,
It works.
Nice. Yeah?
Yeah.
And so I guess this is just an inner working of the actual UI itself, but will it just take whatever date format as long as it's like 7 to 7 characters or whatever that usually exists there, or 8?
You mean like in this field up here?
Yeah.
Um,
Or I guess the toDate function or the toDate command will always format it in that way so that reader could understand it.
it's a good question. Let's talk about that too. So there is this. So the Firebase date is represented as these two fields, seconds and nanoseconds. Right? So if we go to Firebase and we look at start date, you'll notice that it's got all this text, right? So did I lie to you? I didn't. But fundamentally, there's like there's things going on here where the number of seconds can be interpreted as a date, if that makes sense, right? So, long story short, there is no string processing at all happening here. It's an like when you say .toDate from Firebase's object into a JavaScript object, what's happening is the Firebase object, it's kind of like the fraction that we made. Like, we have complete control over this fraction because we wrote the multiply method and we wrote the reciprocal method. So think of it like this. The Firebase date has two fields, the same way that this fraction has two fields. It has nanoseconds and regular seconds, right? And then they provide a toDate method that takes the seconds and the nanoseconds, which the nanoseconds always seem to be 0, so the only thing that matters is the seconds. It takes the seconds and then interprets it as a JavaScript date with no text involved. The text only comes way later when you finally render it, essentially, like display it to the user. So the text part is purely a visual representation.
Like, even like bringing it behind the fact that it's a date and a set of numbers, behind that there's like zeros and ones, so like that key itself is what it's sending.
Yes. So at no point was this ever text. It only becomes text when we print it out to the user.
Damn.
And I have proof of that too.
That's like reboot stuff.
I have proof of that. If you go to the reviews, when we say entries review date, and then if you look at a review, the date gets passed in. And look what I'm doing here. I'm saying date dot to local date string. What this is doing is taking the date object in JavaScript and formatting it how we want. Like, this is turning it into text. So this is the point when it gets turned into text, and it only gets turned into text for the purposes of showing it in the user interface. Prior to this, it's just number of seconds. That's it. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but number of seconds is actually we call it the epoch. So like you can, if you want to know what the current number of seconds is, like it's a number that's always changing, you can go to Unix time, epoch converter. This is the tool that everybody uses. So this number here is a absolute representation of the current time.
Oh my god.
You only need this one number. This one number is a representation of now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970. Usually.
Whoa.
Is that like the beginning of the computer? Is that like the beginning of like a computer? Like
It was arbitrary. Somebody at some point decided January 1st, 1970 is a beautiful number. 0 means that. So you can check it, right? You can type 0 here. Convert this to human. January 1st, 1970.
I wonder what number my birthday is. And time.
I'm happy to do it, but maybe you don't want to do it on stream, yeah? I don't
No, that's a good point.
Um,
All my information.
But we can convert some interesting dates. Like, what date would it be? Christmas Day this year. So we can do 12, 25, 20, 21. And when are we? Like, when is? I'm going to put it to local time so that I get the time that it is going to be exactly Christmas for me. For me. Human date time.
For vous.
For me. Pour moi. So here it is, yeah? And indeed, it is in the future, right? 1640, and this one's 1639. And if you subtract them, if you subtract this from this, it's the number of seconds until Christmas.
Wow. And so like if you were to have like a calendar or that, if the code itself read like this converter timestamp,
Mm-hmm.
it will never mess up its its conversion, right?
Yeah, well, I don't want to make it sound like this is the be all end all of dates. If I had any other programmer on the stream with me, they would tell you how much pain dates are in programming. But in the absence of them, I will invoke our what all programmers say about date times. In all cases, use a library. Do never try to do any date stuff yourself.
Is it because like I guess it's all subjective? Well, in some ways it's subjective.
No, there's just so many special cases. Like, for example, there's a certain number of seconds that represent what a year is. But years aren't actually that exact number of seconds. Because if they were, then how come these things are ending in perfect zeros?
Mm-hmm.
But we have leap days. We have leap seconds. Actually, there are such things, leap seconds, where every now and then seconds are readjusted. And so the time in Unix time, it looks like a perfect situation, but it isn't. We actually smooth certain seconds over like certain days. And there's like a sort of calendar, I guess, where that's true. Anyway, there's way more complexity here than it appears to be, because we like the idea that these numbers are highly divisible by 0. Like, for example, it's useful to be able to subtract, let's say, one day would be 24 by 60 by 60. And so that's 86,400, right? The idea is if you subtract 86,400 from this number, it should be December 24th, right? So you can do that, 86,400, and that's this number. How do I copy it? Copy it. Paste it here, and then this should be precisely like midnight for my time zone on December 24th. The problem is, like, it's not every day is always exactly 86,400 seconds. That's why we have leap seconds. That's why we have leap days. That's why we have, leap years, I guess. So anyway, this is a whole tangent that I didn't expect to be talking about today. Long story short, don't do your own date time math.
Right, because there's way more variables than you think.
Yeah, this toDate here, that's all you need. Call toDate, life is good. This will take care of everything for you. It'll take care of your time zone. It will take care of your whatever leap seconds. It just knows what to do. Always use toDate. If you ever start doing your own math on dates, you effed up.
You're wrong.
Okay. So we did this. Let me show you how to center things, and then we end the stream, yeah? And then homework for you is to add the end date to what we have here and do some formatting, yeah? So, yeah, how do we do things? So the answer to that is if you go to the MUI page, there is a thing called a box. Docs. In the components here, if you scroll into components, there is under an area called layout, there's a thing called a box. And you can do a lot of things with box. Box basically does all the things. It lets you set a size. It lets you set the alignment of things inside of it. All kinds of things. So, for example, let's say we want to. Oh, and also there's also very useful tools like so that's box, and there's this other one called stack. Stack is really great too. So stack lets you put things and then space them out if you want. Right? So box and stack, great things. So let me show you a stack, because stack is great. I'll just pull a stack. Just grab this stack from here, and I'll show you wrapping some stuff up in a stack. So let's.
Oh, that's what stacking is.
So we can let's put the ratings into a stack, yeah?
Yeah.
All the ratings will go into a stack. A beautiful, beautiful stack.
Totally.
Import some stacks. Damn, import's not being friendly to me. Fine. I will just copy paste it from here. Put it up here. Wherever, doesn't matter. Okay. And let's grab that. And I want to make this thing narrow so that we can see what happens when we save it. Go. And I broke something. Oh yeah, of course I broke something. The reason I broke something was because this is the new version of MUI. I'm on the wrong page. Go back to V4. I will upgrade our stuff this week, just so you know. That shouldn't stop you though from doing your homework, just so you know. Yeah?
Okay. Understood.
Because we can easily take what you... Oh, where did stack go? Stack. Components. Oh, wait. Was stack added? Ooh, stack might be a new thing. I've already been using it, so... Interesting. So in the older version, you use a grid instead of a stack.
Good. Okay.
And then you have this stuff in here.
Oh, so they just essentially templated the grids.
I think there's still a grid. I think just stack is simpler to use. Where did stack go? I'm gonna remove that. Let's put a grid. 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 All right. And import grid. Okay, grid is there. Save. So there's our grid. There's our grid. It didn't do anything. It doesn't look like, but that's because we haven't... we need to do some things like choose what we want down here. So let's do center everything.
Yeah.
Column direction is... And then paste that into our grid code. Our current grid code doesn't do anything. It is empty. So here is grid. Oh, and spacing might not be an option, but we'll see. Let's save that. Is this doing anything?
Maybe it's exactly what it is supposed to be.
No. Hold on.
I just dropped Mitchell wrong.
So I think we need to... Oh, there's spacing here. Oh, right. Yeah, we mean... Oh, this was the old version. This was why this was a little bit more... Okay, so the spacing goes there. One sec, you guys. So we have, I'm so bad at front end, jeez. Complex grid, auto layout grid. Yeah. So there's all these things that you can do. There's this root. I think I might need this flex grow. Okay.
Do you notice a personality difference in programmers who prefer front end versus back end? Like maybe they're like more creative or more into
I don't know.
art or something.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Oh my gosh. This is not going my way. Okay. Let's do layout another day. Because we already over and I wanted to let you guys go at 7 because you said so.
Yes, because we said so.
Oh man. But let me see. Yeah, I don't.
We did put in a date. That was awesome.
Yeah, you need to add more dates. In any case, like there's some other cooler tools that we can use. Oh, there's this container. Oh, let me try one last thing. One last thing. MUI container. And then that should, yeah, so notice how this thing got indented just now. And then we can say like max width equals 50%. Or width, I guess. No, not width, max width. What happens if I say 200? px. Oh my gosh, nothing works. Max width small. Let's try that. Oh. Yeah, this front end code is not treating me nicely right now, you guys. But let's use the new version of MUI anyway when we go to build the UI, because there is the stack actually makes things real easy. When I was building the music markdown thing, I got nice layouts in my menu. So yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, I know what it is. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to, if you're gonna go to MUI,
Your voice didn't come through there, Rickles.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if we're gonna go into upgrading it anyways, we're gonna have to change.
Yeah. So the reason why, okay, I think I know the reason. These guys need to be wrapped in a grid item as well. I'm wrong.
Boom,
Boom,
boom.
boom, boom. Okay, doesn't matter. There's a, so there's,
we're gonna stack it anyways.
yeah,
Yeah.
so basically we need to follow one of these patterns. But yeah, you're right. We can do this later. So there's like a column mode. And then each of these items, oh. Yeah, each of these cells need to be in this. So notice how there's a grid container and then there are grid items, right? That's essentially what we need. So we need a grid container and grid items. Oh, there we go. That was it.
Ah, nice.
So each item is now going to be centered. Now, why these guys are kind of not all left aligned. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So in all the other cases, the hearts is what sets the width of that thing. And then for some of them, the text is longer. And so it is centered, but the hearts are aligned to the left side. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Okay. So that's that. Okay. So you know what to do next, yeah?
Yes.
You know what the homework is?
Put an end date. And then, I guess, do you want me to try to align these things?
No, but there's more fields than just the end date. There's also, like, you had more things you wanted to put in, like other, like, questions and all these things. All those questions are just additional text fields. They're just
Okay.
they're just things like more of these text fields, right?
Yeah.
And other kinds of controls, like these switches, potentially more rating buttons. So the idea is, why don't you just put them all, everything, what we can do is everything you want in the review from the top in the order that you want them, right? So start date, end date, questions about the book, all the ratings. And then what we'll do is next time we'll also have all the MUIs upgraded. So I'll combine your changes with my changes, and then we'll do a stream on how to format it nicely. But for now, you'll just have another one entry after the next.
And is our next session going to be in person?
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to be fun.
I agree. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, excited. Can't wait to have you over here. Done. And the Wacko.
Yeah. It's going to be nice. Although I guess maybe Monday's not the best day then, huh?
Because she's going the day after that.
Yeah. Well, not only that, there's all kinds of plans on that Monday, it seems. So we can do another day. So we'll let the internets know when that will be. Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Satch and Rickles. That was a fun stream.
Wonderful stream.
Okay.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar. Okay. Bye, internets.
Peace out.